shit, guys. Big truck just pulled up. Stay, Daisy. Oh, snap. Look at this. Oh my God. Challenger door. All my doors are here. Nice crating job. Looks awesome. Got my pantry door. I think that's the entry door. Side doors, front storage. Awesome. Nice, what a lovely day today. I've got my doors in. How about them apples? So I've got two 26 by 26 to go with for the front storage for those, and then I got two 12 by 22s. I think is what these are, and this is for the rear lower storage on the curbside in the kitchen. And then this is my shop and bracket kit for, this is the pantry door. It's going to be a pretty decent sized pantry. And then of course, the entry door. Which I can't quite remember the exact dimensions off the top of my head, but I think I'm just going to leave that closed for now. But man, looks good. Looks excellent. Cool. Now I just have to build the rest of the trailer. Yeah, I'm not going to make you watch me paint this whole thing. That would literally be like watching paint dry. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to show you the nearly finished product. And boy is it red. I love it. Don't get me wrong, I like black paint on a lot of stuff. I painted the wheels on my Tahoe black. And roof racks need to be black, but this thing looks really good red. And so you saw I started out with, I bought a gallon of this stuff here, and I was using rollers, wherever my rollers are. I was using little foam, 2-inch foam rollers. Started out doing that with foam rollers and chip brushes, and I did the whole first coat with the roller and chip brushes, and that was a gigantic pain in the ass. So I switched gears and I went and bought the same stuff, only in a spray can. So and these cans, so this Rust-Oleum stuff is pretty decent, I think, for a rattle can. any angle spray, that's absolutely true. You can hold these things upside down and they spray just the same as they do right side up. And high output tip, the paint flat comes out of these things. So this stuff works really good. I put 4 light coats on. So I did the first roll-on coat, which is pretty light, and then I did 3 more coats of the spray in light passes, and it seems like it's pretty tough once you let it cure for a couple of days. Because I mean, you know, obviously like the day after you could take your thumbnail and you could scrape a little bit, but 3 days after, stuff's golden. It's like rock hard on there. It's pretty good. So yeah, screw using rollers and brushes, that was not any fun at all. The biggest problem was like you couldn't get down in any of these like tight nooks and crannies and stuff down in here with the brush or the roller. I mean, it was impossible to get in there, so I would have never covered everything with the brush and roller and stuff. So anyway, spray it is. So as you can see here also, I forgot to put these on before I started painting, so I had to come back. I just got done doing these tonight, and these will get holes like this because my panels will get pop riveted to those. So I got those welded on and got the rest of that painted up. So, and there's I can see a spot right down there that's over there that's a little light. So yeah, a few more touch-ups and I think this thing will be pretty good to go for paint on the bottom side. So anyway, there's the paint. So I also scored on Craigslist, actually on Facebook Marketplace a couple days ago. I've been looking for a used vacuum pump to use for my vacuum press, and there was a couple that I missed. There's a Robinair and a couple other ones that were for sale, and I was just going to probably end up going and getting a Harbor Freight unit and you know, hoping that it would last through what I was going to do. But this sucker came up on Facebook Marketplace. This is a gassed model blah blah blah. Anyway, the lady was asking $100 for it, and it was 110 volt and looked like it would work. I didn't know anything about it, so I looked it up, and this is like a $600 vacuum pump, and they were using it not as a pump, they were using it as an air pump to like aerate their pond on their property or something. So it's like, I mean, it's probably got some hours on it, but I've tested it with I've got a vacuum gauge here that I put on it, and it will pull 26 inches of mercury, which is pretty decent. The Harbor Freight units only pull like 22, I think, and 29 point whatever is the max. So I think 26 is pretty good. So yeah, and I think the duty cycle and everything's rated really good on this thing too. So $100, man, that's a pretty good score for that sucker. So I'm gonna probably end up mounting it like under the table at this end somewhere, and then I'll run the lines up to the rubber sheet, and that will make up part of the vacuum table. Alright, the floor's welded on, and I got everything seam sealed with some Sikaflex all the way around. It's a little sloppy, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be covered. So, yeah, this is looking pretty good. I am getting ready. Here's my conduit for some floor wiring that's going to go through. This is 3/4 inch PVC square tube. I used a little bit of heat to bend that radius or that corner on it. So that's going to go from, see the hole over in that area over to the hole in this area. So that's going to go across the floor for some switches that are going to go over by where the door is. So anyway, this floor is looking pretty good, and this looks I think this red frame looks really good. I'm pretty biased, but I think the red against the black looks pretty dang good. So I think it's turned out pretty nice. Next step is, once this cures, I'm going to give this at least 24 hours to cure, maybe longer, and then start chopping some foam and getting the foam for the floor laid out. I have ordered my fiberglass. I ordered it last Monday, and they said that 2 to 3 weeks to manufacture it, and then probably another week to get it out here. So I'm like a month out from getting my fiberglass. Hopefully it's sooner than that, because I need to get to laminating some walls, because the epoxy that I'm going to use requires 85 degrees to cure properly, and by the end of September it's about 55 or 60 degrees here. So I think what I'm going to do is, around the table, I'm going to do a skirt around the bottom of the table with either plywood, sheetrock, tarps, blankets, something, and I'll put space heaters underneath the table so I can have a bunch of heat underneath the table. And then I've got a 5,000 watt electric heater in the corner there too. So if it's like 55 or 60 outside, then I think I can get it up to 80 in here relatively easily with that corner 220 volt heater and some other space heaters under the table. I think I should be okay. So yeah, just gotta wait for more supplies to show up, and then I can actually put a floor on this thing.